Hey guys, my name is Kat and this is my July wrap-up. Technically there is one more day in July, but I'm pretty positive I will not be finishing the book I'm currently reading tomorrow. Don't think it's going to happen. But I managed to read a total of 8 books in July, which was pretty good for me. Usually I aim to read around 7 or 8 books every month, so 8 books was okay in my book. No pun intended on that one, but you know, whatever. Anyway, the first book I finished in July was The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Yes, this is my very, very old, very, very beat up copy of The Lightning Thief. Yes, I do need to buy a new one because this is a little old. Anyways, this book I am not going to say a synopsis of because if you don't know by now, I think you actually live under a rock. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars, and this is my second time, or probably third or fourth time rereading this series, but I don't remember a lot what happens because it has been a year or two since I've last reread it. So I really want to read the Heroes of Olympus series and finish all of those out before Blood of Olympus comes out this fall, October, I think. So I'm really aiming to read all of these, plus the Heroes of Olympus series, in the next couple months, so I can get Blood of Olympus and read it and we can all be happy. But as I said before, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, it's phenomenal. It is a middle grade series, so if you're older, I would still recommend it, but it's kind of childish. In a good way, though. A good childish. The next book I read in July was The Reptile Room by Lemony Snicket, which I don't have a copy of here. I do have a copy of the first book in the series. The Reptile Room is the second book in the series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket. I read the first book a couple months ago. This is my second time rereading the series. The first time I read it, I was in 3rd and 4th grade. I read it over that period of time in my life. So naturally, I don't really remember anything about it at all. I remember I liked it, but I really don't remember anything that went on in the series. Basically, if you don't know, this is a middle grade series by Lemony Snicket, obviously, and it is about 3 children who, in the very beginning of the very first book, found out that their parents have died tragically in a fire, and they are sent to live with their horrible, horrible Count Olaf, who I'm not sure how they're related to him, I don't remember, but he is their closest living relative, so they're sent to live with him, and he is just horrible. The whole first book follows them spending time with Count Olaf and living in his house, and he's a terrible man, and all he wants to do is steal the Baudelaire fortune, which they get when Violet comes of age. And basically the whole series is them trying to escape Count Olaf and trying to not be killed by him or have their fortune taken by him. And it's just a really interesting kind of series, and you know, it's sad because it's a series of unfortunate events, so it's still kind of enjoyable. That sounds horrible. But the next book I read in July was If I Stay by Gail Forman, which I, again, don't have a copy of because it was a library book. But I really enjoyed this book. I really wanted to read it because the movie is coming out in August, so I guess still technically next month, but I really wanted to see the movie. But I avoided even watching the movie trailer before I read the book because, you know, there can be spoilers in those trailers, man. There could be, I don't need that. So, and I wanted to form my own, pictures of the characters and everything, which I did, and then I watched the movie trailer and I'm like, that is not how I pictured them at all. But in all, I gave the book a 4 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy it. Basically, If I Stay, it follows a girl named Mia, I believe her name is Mia, and she lives with this kind of crazy family. They're not super crazy, but her parents are kind of punk rockish, kind of cool. Her boyfriend is amazing, Adam. He's phenomenal, and he's kind of punk rock too, and she plays the cello, and she's thinking about going to Juilliard, and all she really thinks about is her family and her boyfriend and getting into Juilliard and everything. And then those are her main worries in life. And all of this comes to a halt because her family is in a horrible, horrible car accident. And suddenly all of this, none of the schooling or any of that matters anymore. And she gets the choice whether she wants to live or die, and she gets to decide that. And it's a really kind of depressing novel, and I think it's kind of heavy, but I did really, really enjoy it, and I'm so excited for the movie, even though that's not how I pictured the characters at all. All in all, I gave the book a 4 out of 5 stars, and I did really enjoy it, and I do recommend it. Definitely read it before you see the movie, obviously. The next book I read in July were the entire Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han, which are the Summer I Turned Pretty, which these are library copies, and the first book was already returned, so I don't have a copy of that. And then we have We'll Always Have Summer. Nope, this is the third book. We have It's Not Summer Without You, and then we have We'll Always Have Summer, second and third. I adored the series. I thought the series was fantastic. Basically, this series follows a young girl named Belly. I think the first summer she's 15. Each book follows a different summer. In the first book she's like 15. In the second book she's like 16, and then I think the third book flash forwards 2 or 3 years. And they're great books. What I really love about these books is that they don't just focus on the romance. There is romance, obviously, which is really nice because I do really enjoy romance, but it also focuses pretty heavily on the family aspect of it, and I really love that. I really love seeing families come into romance books, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time when you read YA contemporary, the families are kind of absent, and you just like, where's the family? Do they have parents? I don't know. I love when we actually see their family, whether the family is good or bad. I really love seeing them. These books follows a girl named Belly who goes to a summer house every summer with her mom, her brother, her mom's best friend, and her mom's best friend's 2 sons, Jeremiah and Conrad. And basically the first book is her trying to fit in with the boys and to hang out with the boys. And obviously it's the summer I turned pretty, so it's the summer that Jeremiah and Conrad start to see her more as a girl and less as like a little brother, because they always kind of act like boys around each other. They've known her their entire life. But it's a really, really good series. I highly recommend it, especially during the summer. The next book I read in July was 4 by Veronica Roth. I adored everything about this. Obviously gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, as I did with everything Divergent ever. Actually, I might have given Legion 4 out of 5 stars, I don't remember. But I love all the Divergent books. If you haven't read them, what are you doing? Just go read them now. Stop, just pause the video, go read them, and then come back, and I'll still be here. I'll be here waiting, alright? This book, I can't really give you a synopsis of it because it is it has 4 short stories in it about 4, who is the lead, one of the main characters of Divergent, and I just love seeing it in his perspective. It was fantastic. I loved seeing what happened to him before he met Triss. I loved seeing things that happened with him and Triss from his perspective. The whole thing was just phenomenal, and I'm so happy I got this and read it, and I just, I love it so much. It's so good. Read it. Just do it. And the last book I read in July, I almost said August, July, was Sundays at Tiffany's by James Patterson. This book was like meh. I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to give it 3 or 4 stars, so naturally I went 3.5. But this book, it's kind of weird, but it's kind of like a cool concept at the same time. I don't know. Basically, in the beginning of the story, we meet a girl named Jane Margot, who is 8 years old, and her middle-aged imaginary friend named Michael. And they are inseparable, obviously. He's her imaginary friend, and he's just really charming and fantastic and great. And then on Jane's 9th birthday, Michael has to leave because as an imaginary friend, he has to leave the children when they turn 9. So that is the beginning of the story, and then flash forward, we move on to when Jane is 30, or around that age. I'm not positive exactly how old, and she is just, would that be, I don't think so. On the back it does say that. So it's about her when she's 30, and then she meets a handsome guy named Michael. So, That's what happened in this book. I will warn you that this is an adult book, so there is adult content in it, so please be aware of that if you are younger and you want to read this. There is adult content. Not much, but there is a little, so you know. And those are all of the books I read in July. Oh, they're slipping. I was going to try to pick them up, but they're already slipping. Oh my god. Alright. The books I read in July. Yay. Now we are going to do my very small August TBR. The first book I am for sure going to finish in August is The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. This is my first ever Nicholas Sparks book. I am about 80 pages into this. I'm really enjoying this. I'm pretty sure I'm going to fly through this, but I really don't think I'm going to finish this in July, which is why I'm filming this video now and not after I finish this. But I have seen this movie because I broke my #1 rule in life, and I saw the movie before I read the book. Sue me, I'm sorry. Usually I don't do that, but I did for this one. And I love the movie, and I'm loving the book so far, and I'm so excited to finish this. It's fantastic. Fantastic. And that's all the books I have planned for sure to read in August. So for my next book, I'm going to go to my TBR jar. And for my TBR jar, I generally pick out 2 or 3 pieces of paper. This time I'm going to do 2, and then I pick which one of those I want to read more. So let's see, 1 and 2. So the first one is The Weight of the Water. Where is that at? Oh, I found it. They all fell down. We have The Weight of the Water by Anita Shreve. I have absolutely no idea what this is about at all. And then we have, let's see, where is it? I can't find it. Here it is. We have The Maze Runner by James Dashner. Out of these 2, I'm definitely going to pick The Maze Runner because this movie is coming out this month, and I really want to see the movie. I saw the trailer on accident. I'm like covering my eyes because when I went to see The Fault in Our Stars, they played the trailer. Everyone's watching it, and I'm like, I haven't read the book yet. What if they spoil something? Which I don't know if they spoiled anything or not because I didn't really pay attention. But from what I did see of the trailer, it looked pretty damn cool. So I picked up the book, and I'm going to be reading it this month. So for sure in August, I will be finishing The Last Song, and I will be reading The Maze Runner, and it's going to be a good month. It's just going to be a good time. Sorry, The Weight of the Water, you're just going to have to be saved for another time. So, let's see. These are all the books I've talked about. Oh, so many books. Watching booktubers, I never understood the struggle of trying to hold books until now. Okay, that's, I'm done. Alright, so that is all. There's a bug. Alright. That's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you super soon in my next video. Goodbye.